Greetings, Sanbonani, Dumelang, Absheni. Hello out there once again. It's your boy AK back again with another episode of the People's Podcast. And on this one, I'm actually being joined by Basetsana, someone that I'm gonna actually allow the opportunity to introduce themselves and let us know who they are and what they are doing out there. But before we do that, just a reminder to our returning viewers and new viewers that you click that subscribe button and also go check out our exclusive community there by Patreon. It's at patreon.com/realtalkwithak.com. That's where you can find like a community of practical problem solvers, you know, a community that has dedicated its time, its energy and its resources to addressing and finding practical solutions for practical societal issues that exist within our community. But on this episode, we'll actually be talking about the role of arts in today's society in terms of how it's influencing us as the human race, you know, at the moment. But before we actually do that, let me give the platform to my guest so that they can introduce themselves, let us know who they are, what they're doing out there, you know. So, Basetsana, how's it?
What's up, man? What's up?
I'm good, and yourself?
Yeah, good shot, man.
Yeah,
no,
so,
2 seconds.
Nah, fist bump, but that's it. Welcome to the show, you know. Welcome to the show. I think even our viewers out there, you know, they are actually keen on getting to know more about you and your craft and what you're doing, you know. So without wasting any further time, the platform is yours, you know.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hello to everybody. It's a pleasure, absolute pleasure being here. As actually my host, Miss Basetsana Koboyankwe. I live in Mokahiso, East Park.
1754 all the way from the West.
Yeah, I'm a child of the West, and I'm proudly so. Actually, you know, it's a beautiful thing. Is Haram today. Besides me being here, but just being a part of this podcast, you know. I've always said I wanted to do a podcast about my hood and to find that somebody's actually doing that. And I say big up, and to be part of that is legendary.
It's an honor. It's an honor having you on the show.
So who am I? I wrote a long script, you know. I was like, you know, I want to be on point. I'm a lover, guys. I'm a lover of God. I'm a lover of people. I'm a lover of my community. I'm a lover of all things creative. I'm a lover of knowledge. I'm a lover of personal growth. I believe in God. And the reason why I think this is important for me to say that I'm a Christian is because my life, and most of the things maybe that we will share today, or I'll share about myself, are things that have been guided by the principles of Christianity. And I'm not here to say anything about anybody. Arts is my life, you know. I love the arts, and arts is manifold, as we'll get into the gist of the matters today. I'm a builder at heart, you know. I believe in the impossible. I believe in the power of influence, you know. I believe that I can be whoever I want to be. I believe that what I see in my mind, I can actually achieve it. You know? I don't want to live in fear. I think most of my life I've lived in fear. But I believe in greatness. I believe that in all of us there is potential to be great. We just have to align with it, you know, and work against the negative. I had to do the work. That's why I say I believe in personal growth. I believe in personal investment. I believe. So what I do currently, I own a company that's called Untitled Chapter. So it's a community project, you know. It's based on believing in artists within our community. I believe our communities are rich in my goodness, sports, arts, culture, you know.
We are talented community.
City, you know. We have the human cradle. I mean, there's where we are alone. It's richness. And I believe in uplifting those people. The first thing I did was having an arts night for my birthday party end of July. That's where I networked with a lot of people, musicians, poets, dancers, you know, came together because I believe in the power of art. And I think that's the reason we're here today.
Yeah.
Hopefully as we go, you learn more about me. You can only say so much about yourself. But I think, thank you for welcoming me and allowing me to introduce myself. I'm hoping to have a great time with you guys today.
Now welcome to the show. It's actually an honor having like someone from the creative space, you know, join us on the main show of the Purple's podcast, because majority of the artists or creatives that we've had, you know, they prefer being on the other show, the Western Cyphers, you know, talking about music. So like, it's actually dope that you're here, you know, like we are honored, you know, me and my viewers out there, I think we are. So let me kick off the show and dive into today's topic, and that is like the role of art in today's society, you know, like the influence art has in today's society, because at the end of the day we know that art is life, like she said earlier on, Basetsana Koboyankwe, like, you know, like art is something that is used to express, you know, a lot of different emotions, you know. It has also played a role in revolutions in most cases. So let me kick off the episode by asking you, like, in terms of like, what do you think like is the importance of art in today's society, you know, like why is art important?
You know, when I was thinking about the question, about the topic rather, I thought of having answers, but I actually went back and said to myself, and let's take it as the people who will join us today, maybe they're not creatives, maybe they're not artists, but what is the definition of art? You know, because a lot of times, also when you go into research, when they talk about art, Ruaga, painting, you know, sculptures, but it's there's many forms of art. You know, poetry is that, theater work is that, visual art is that, photography is art. So, you know, so art is quite broad. It's not only music. It's not only about dancing. Is art.
It's all about creativity.
It's crazy. So every time a lot of people were like, so who are you? Are you an artist? I'm like, so not to limit myself, because I do so much myself. I'm like, I'm a creative person. Because it could be, you know, culinary is art. You know?
That's true.
So the role, I was just reading an article this morning, and when they speak about the role of art, it actually got me that art is everywhere, and without art, life is actually boring.
That's true. I definitely agree with that one.
Because then the world is grey.
Yeah.
You know? Then the world is either black or white, but art brings the color.
That's true.
So the role of art in our community is to bring life.
Yeah. It's to bring life in communities,
you know,
basically.
To bring something that was not meant to be together, to be together. It's the merging of lives, the merging of culture. That's why we can never speak about art and not speak about culture and not speak about heritage.
That's true. So like, what's the connection between like arts, culture and heritage, you know, like what's the link between those three terms you just mentioned?
So when we speak about art, there's something that caught my mind, that it's when your creativity takes a solid form, you know, because a lot of times we are creative, but we never bring it outside to the formability of the matter, right? And once that, and what causes that is us saying, I don't think it's good enough.
Yeah, self-doubt.
You know, self-doubt. Will it measure up to so and so? But once that takes a form, right, then it creates culture.
That's true.
And people, in culture, I'm not talking about our black culture, you know, culture in terms of our traditions, but it creates culture where people identify with it.
And they can connect.
And they can connect with it. And they can associate and live, and it becomes a lifestyle. And then heritage says, we want to keep this going. We want to preserve that from its extinction. So it's like that cycle. That's why even in our government we've got a sector that's called arts, sports, arts, and culture and heritage. So these things are linked. You cannot have one without the other. So that's the connection. That art is the match that sets things alive. You know, it starts there. That without art, that's why I was saying without art, it's great. So art brings it provokes, you know, it makes you want to rethink things and question things, or it brings origination. Maybe it plants a seed of something that will only be seen in the future, you know. So once that thing then becomes culture. So art gives birth to the culture, and then to the preservation, right, heritage of that culture.
Yeah, that's definitely too very profound. You know, like I would like so like me, I'm someone who likes asking questions. They know. I think even my viewers out there, they know by now that I just want to ask a question. So like, do you think like that our government has actually done enough to actually help in preserving like this sacred movement? Because this is a movement at the end of the day. Art is a movement.
When it comes to, I think I'm a bit behind when it comes to politics. I think sometimes when you have an artist in space, you want the person to be more of an activist, you know, and drive. Maybe you want me to speak about the 20 million that the minister, you know, also the the flag, the minister, you know. Maybe you want me to get into that and say, me being an activist, you know. But I'm going to speak in the general sense, and this is based on conversations that I've had with people, artists, older artists who have walked the path before me, you know. And mostly the sports, arts and culture sector, especially music. The reason why it is where it is because of the policies that are, you know, the people that are running. This is what the artists believe, the musicians believe, that if you're going to be a leader of musicians, be a musician yourself.
That's true.
You know,
that's something that's not happening.
You understand? So that's where our government misses a lot of things, you know, because they don't have the pulse of the musician. They don't have the pulse of the artist, you know. So to bring Moto totally out of tune with what you do, they will not bring the interest, you know. And this brings me to, I fell into, recently I got a job to work for a law firm, you know, and conversations there, one was asking me, have you ever read the Constitution? And I was like, what? Sorry, what? What is the reason for me to do that? You know, and she says, because that is one thing you can use to fight for what you want, you know. And I'm like,
and that's something we overlook.
We overlook, you know. Because where are we fighting from? Where's our stand? You know? And the old artists, the old musicians, they have an understanding of things that we, the younger generations, we don't have. That's why we cannot walk without them.
And usually we think that we know better than them.
You understand? Because the gift is not enough. Yeah. You know, the gift will only take us that far, but guidance, you know, those who have walked before. So talking about this law firm I work in, and recently I developed something, and I'm like, let me do a little bit of research. And when I researched, I found out there's something that's called media and entertainment law. media and in entertainment law. So I can actually, even in my art space, I can actually pursue a career to become a media and an entertainment lawyer. So I haven't gotten the gist of it, you know, but it deals with policies. So if we are going to be making changes, maybe let us step into the system to make changes within the system.
That's true. Because at the end of the day, you know, like, whether we choose to overlook these things, they do affect how our art at the end of the day gets to like our audiences.
Yeah,
you know.
100%.
Because at the end of the day, there are events, you know, you need to book venues, and doing that, you know, it's politics involved.
Yeah.
You know, like, so like, let me just continue with like our conversation. You know. So we're talking about the importance of art in today's society. So right now, I want us to take a look at how like art actually influences like our daily lives, you know, on a daily basis. Because like you said, that art is everywhere. Everywhere we move, you know. Like, even right now what we're doing, this is art because we are actually creating. So like, how would you say like art, like the influence art has had in today's society? What kind of influence is that?
I think art is the most powerful tool that can be given to humans. I say that. When we see the most influential people, the artists, whether they're singers, whether they're influencers, you know, because that's creativity, right? And in my conversations in the circles, when we talk to people, they say, truth is right now, the world is forcing us to say we're living in terrible times. Fact. Right? And, well, because of the cost of the rent, you know, in our homes, more robberies and killings are happening during this time when there's lack, you know. So it's like one thing that breeds a lot of things, you know. So right now, even the actions or the reaction to some of the things that are going on is they're negative. I'll say that, you know. But art can change all that. Somebody said, if we can change the message of our music, we can turn around. So things are bad now because because this is where, when we talk about art, the spaces, we don't have those spaces anymore. Yeah. When I grew up, we had traditional dance school, you know, there was choir, there was something that we have to do after school, you know. We always stayed at school. When you one of those type of things, we'd always stay at school. There'd be tennis, there'd be sports. So the kids of today are not so much interested in those activities. You know, when I was growing up, what do you want to be? First thing I'd say is a teacher, a nurse, police, because you felt that those things were things that really builded and protected us. Yeah. You know, those are things which were vital, you know, to the building of our communities. But I know we are more leaning towards influencers, music, you know. When a certain musician, you want to be like that, but you don't know the process to become that. So right now, art is standing on the negative. Because why? Immediately when you want to be an artist, you want to be a sportsman, what's the first thing that you say? It's not considered as a profession. So art right now is in the imbalance. So it has not played a role at the moment that it should. or that it's got the potential to, you know. But it's spaces that we need to create in our communities, because the role of art is not only to showcase, but it to creative thinking. You know, I was reading something that says the role of art in schools, especially in children, it produces achievement, academic achievement in the future for our children. So they might be in class, or they're doing, or in primary, and they're doing music. Maybe it's not a music lesson, right? Music, say maybe class. They might not go to become musicians, but it helps them in creative and analytic thinking, leading to problem solving of the future. So art is not only what we think it is. It's got a vital. So right now we don't have that. So if it's playing, maybe it's playing at less than 50%.
So like, how do we get it to be something that's actually like taken seriously? Because at the moment, like you said, you know, it's on 50%. So how do we move from 50 to 80%? Because we can't. I believe that we can't always stay in the same position forever. We have to move, you know, and there are strategies that can be applied, you know, to actually move forward. So like, I don't know if maybe you do have like maybe some solutions to like, there's certain challenges that are there at the moment within the arts and culture space.
And look, where I'm sharing from, I'm sharing from the corner, you know. Yeah. But I believe that as I talk, somebody could say, and this, you know. That's why art is a collaboration, you know. I could be a musician, but I need to be dressed in fashion.
That's true.
And I need a makeup artist. I need a nail tech.
Yeah.
I need an engineer. I need a
graphic design.
You understand? That's all art.
Yeah.
So I think what we need to do is, in our communities, we need to embrace. Firstly, I think as artists, we need to believe in the gifts that we have. You need to believe that the skill that you have, whether you're drawing, whether you're photography, it's got the power to impact.
It's God given, man.
Believe in it.
Yeah.
And once you believe in it, and chances are you might not have support.
Yeah.
Mostly, I'll say this from your parents. I grew up as a soccer player. I was 7 when I started playing football. I was 7. My first goal, Joseph Makanya soccer pitch.
Wow.
What is called Porto Honano?
FC Porto, yeah.
It's called Porto, you know. And I think I'll remember the name. I was 7 when I started playing football because I was the only girl in my street.
Wow.
So I'm exposed to soccer, tennis, cricket, rollerblading, guitar playing, drums playing. So I'm all that. So I'm speaking from that. When I speak from those positions, you know, and the power of this thing, you know. So I think once we believe, I started football, my parents were not supportive. I didn't have soccer boots that were bought from my parents. I played until I was 20. But no support from my parents. But I believed.
But they didn't believe.
You know something that a friend of mine said one day, in my late 20s, I believe that if we supported you, if we were there for every game we played, you would have been far because you were so good in what you were doing. So we need to believe in the gifts. Find the tribe, those who believe. Be consistent. Whether you're playing sports, whether it's the programs that we, you know, broadcasting, social events, consistent. Believe in the product.
And you'll always find your tribe.
You will always find people.
That's true.
You know, let's create spaces for that. In our schools, let us reintroduce those things. You know, because I believe this. If we take, say, an activation to a school, maybe a poetry activation, right? When that is done at the school. And there's people who have that little thing, a little flame, a spark in there. Once that's done in that environment, it sparks. You know? And then you get the person coming to you and say, people start coming outside, and then that thing grows because they feel like, oh, somebody's doing some other people.
And I was afraid of doing it.
People are not the same, EK. There's somebody who will come out strong, but there's somebody who needs a help.
Yeah, like a coach.
You know, there's somebody who wants a hand. There's somebody who wants to say, hey, what have you written? Share it. You know, Balesa go inside. Always says to me, dude, get Thursday, and I leave the slot for the poets. You know, so maybe. It's stuff like that. Create opportunities, create environments that
spaces where,
you know,
like, all
spaces.
Right.
That's what my business is all about. I want to create environments, you know, atmospheres for artists to showcase their gifts.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. Like, yes, Hana space, but you're an artist, you're talented. Let's see how we can create a platform for you.
So basically, it's all about creating opportunity.
Because sometimes we think about, I want to sign up with Sony, you know, but people that I know that are being paid, some of the positions, to take part at a wedding. I've been asked to come dance at a wedding, to come sing at a wedding, but I'm not known. But I could make a living from that.
That's true.
So sometimes we think, I want to be famous, I want to be, you know, but start where you are, build a support structure, find your people, you know, because your people could be your springboard. They can throw you to God knows where it is that you want to go.
And I hear you. So like, we are moving, and
Let's move.
so like, we've been talking about art. So for someone like who's like has never been exposed like to this whole industry or this whole movement on its own, like, I want us to actually now look at like maybe the different of crafts or arts that's out there, you know, like, and the kind of role or the kind of contribution it has in society. Like, so what would you say are like some of like the categories in art, you know, and how they actually influence like today's life, you know, lifestyles.
See, I think I even went as far as like how broad is art, you know, and then I think somewhere where I was actually checking, they mentioned about 7 forms, you know, of art, and I believe there could be more. You know, this was based on the little that I checked, and mobile there are 7 different forms of art, right? Yeah. Painting, sculpture, literature, architecture, cinema, music, theater. It's broad, you know. So the article I was reading, when you walk at a mall, for instance, there's music playing in the background, right? As you walk, there's visuals of information on the walls. And in Gudi Mulong, mostly you get what? Monuments, sculptures. How they put the wording of the shop, the logos, designs. That's art. When that's the influence. It was just yesterday, I think I saw in someone's status that F&B has changed its logo. I've never seen the new logo.
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter last night.
Why not? Yeah. So art is also progressive.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. You know, when I said to you, I'm a Christian and I'm a believer. One of my mentors, who's a guitar player, he's brought my attention to the prayer, the Lord's Prayer we make in school, you know, that taught at grade art. Our Father who art in heaven. And when you check, it's written art, is it A-R-T?
Yeah, it's art.
You know? So the greatest person, when you speak about being an artist, that's how you always see this brand saying God is an artist. But it's kind of like, it's because art is that, it's putting that thing where nobody thought it should be. And then somebody and then what you did sparks a reaction out of me. And then you did it in blue, but I'm like, hey, it can be nice and white, yo. And I make it in white, and I add black. And go somebody else, so it's like a...
Like, it moves on, you know. It's like a virus in a way.
That's what I'm saying without art, guys.
We are doomed.
We are doomed.
Indeed. You know, like, it has also contributed to curing, like, mental health issues, you know. Things such as depression, you know. I know people that have recovered from depression by just like starting to finding like ways of expressing themselves. Some do it through poetry, some do it through like painting, you know. So like, yeah, without art, like I guess you're right, we wouldn't survive, you know, like we wouldn't cope. Because even like when you look at like at caves, like, you know, our ancestors, how they documented stories, it's mostly drawings, you know. So yeah, so we are about to take like a short quick break, but before we do that, I just want us to actually dive into like your art now. Now we are moving to you, like in terms of like what like your art, the kind of art you are trying to push, what does it represent, you know, into this society? What is it aiming to achieve, you know?
I'm an all-rounded. I nearly said, you know what, guys, I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. But truth is, I think the reason I am who I am today is because God has given me the opportunity to do each and every little thing, you know. As I said, I started playing football at 7. I did tennis, I did cricket. I also was a tennis champ actually in high school. I went to play, I did athletics, and then I went into music. And while I was at music, because I was in a music community school, that's where I learned to play the guitar. I was not interested in singing, you know, but I loved singing. And then after I got into singing, I loved the drums. You know, during the drums, I got interested in acting. So
you're also an actor?
Yeah.
No. You are a jack of all trades.
But I haven't mastered any yet, because I haven't, there's nothing I've chosen and say I will pursue, you know. And then whilst doing acting, I saw, you know, my first drama, I was at church, and I saw on the stage, I saw a man dance. Like, it's like an open vision, right? And I said to my mother, Easter, I'm just going to ask our pastor if you can do a play. And then I went on. That's why I said we need to believe in the things that we feel like we want to do, you know. I didn't have any background of drama. But I just went and I said, and they asked me, okay, how long will it take? I said, okay, about 15 minutes. And the pastor said, okay, you will go before me. And I tried to bring a lot of people to the thing. You know, like, hey, I would like you to do this with me. But when we would come together, it wouldn't bring out the effect that I felt. You know, and I said, okay, I'm going to do this alone. And I remember it's now what I call a monologue, because I got this singing. Also, I was singing and acting like 4 characters at once. What? Yeah, that was my first.
How did you manage?
I don't know.
And how old were you when?
I was 20. It was before I moved to Swaziland, because I also went to Swaziland for missionary work, right? So I left at 21. So I think I was 19, 20 then, right? And I just read the Bible and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do a monologue about the fact of Jesus Christ, because it was the Easter period. And then I'm like, cool, I'm going to be Jesus, I'm going to be the Roman soldier, I'm going to be so and so, I'm going to be so and so, and okay, how am I going to do this? And I sat down and I'm like, okay, how am I going to do it? I'm like, okay, I'll put music in it. I'll put some songs on. As I came up from the backstage, I came up with a song, and I'm like, I don't have a mic, so it means I'm going to have to be vocal. So I was very vocal, and I started, in between I had songs and speaking. And when I finished, when I turned, the church was on the floor. In our language, that the believers' language, that's called ministry.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm saying. Art is powerful. So what I do right now is taking all those, and I think sports will come into it as we go. You know, the music, the dancing, the drama, the poetry, and I'm looking for those people who are doing that, right? Because I've seen how influential what I've done has been. How it has changed us, as you were saying, you know. I've had people come to me and say, I've had people, as I dance, they will spring from their chair, you know. So my art is, let me get those people who are that different. If you can't see it, let's help you see it. Let's build your confidence. Let's support you. Let's take the walk with you, right? And let's create a platform for you. Because the tag of my, as Nike says, just do it, mine is to inspire and influence through the arts. To inspire and influence through the arts. I believe we can change minds.
Yeah, that's
I believe we
true.
can change behavior.
It's one of the reasons we have seen like legends in the music industry such as Miriam Makeba being mentioned in revolutionary stories, in political stories. It's because of their art, you know. Like, even the national anthem itself, it's art. Because the person who composed the thing was an artist, and when they were doing that, they were not thinking about like it being a national anthem.
No.
It was a matter of expression, you know. So let's just take a quick break, you know. We'll come back after this short break, you know. But it's been a dope conversation, you know. I'm enjoying it, you know. It's flowing. I even think that our viewers, they are also like enjoying it, you know. So if you're still new to the show, just click that subscribe button down there, and don't also forget to go check out our content there by Spotify, Google Podcasts. In fact, all podcasting platforms, we are there, you know. So if you are one of those who actually prefers listening to audio versions of the podcast, you can go visit those platforms that I mentioned earlier on. But apart from that, just an announcement that on the 23rd of October, in fact, 1 week from now, we'll actually be hosting an event called the Unspoken Words, Soul and Poetry Sessions. You know, it's an official launch of like a space, like you were saying, that it's all about creating like safe spaces for artists. So more details are available on my social media pages. It's at the People's Podcast, the handle. You can use that to just check out more details about the event. But you can pull through, you know, because it's gonna be a lit day. You know, we have, you know, poets, we have art exhibitionists and bands. You know, there's a lot. I can't even mention all of them, you know. But apart from that, we'll be back after this quick break. So thank you. So far, what's your take?
I feel like I'm over talking.
No, you're not.
I'm passionate. Like when you speak about art, bro, like you touch my heart.
Like you should, you know, because at the end of the day, AK and like the viewers, we are learners, you know. Like we are here to learn from you. So,
but
like,
you feel like I'm answering your question.
Nah, you are. Like you are even going beyond.
I'm like, I'm like, yo. I love art.
I just wanted us like to take like a quick break so we can see like what else we can talk about, you know, like if maybe there are questions that we actually want to answer, like for me to actually ask, because you know I might not cover the entire question.
Yeah, I don't even know how broad this thing is. Everything is broad. That's what I'm saying. I'm speaking from my corner. I would tell you today, why didn't she cover this? Why didn't she cover that? You know, because my art space is based in church. You know, it's only now when I'm trying to come out and to see what other people are doing, and let's see how, you know, because I think something it came through into my mind, but it's something that I said to myself when we come here for that spoken word, I'm going to seriously talk about, and it might be offensive to other people, but our artists are dying from poverty. Some of the things go back to the media law part, who's guiding and all that, who's drafting contracts, and they're also dying from bad personal life choices. I think we spoke about it. Most of our artists are dying from HIV. They're dying from depression, right? And self-inflicted, decisions. Maybe you got into drugs. Maybe you're in debt. Like artists are not managed properly, and it's something that I'm very, very passionate about. For the guys, if we are going to make any difference, let's look at the old artists. Where did they go? Why are they going the way they're going? Because that thing, I know for that it's go everywhere. Maybe I need to sleep with you for a position, or for a favor, in the music. Because it's very rife there.
I think we can also touch on the episode.
Because I told myself on the day before I do my poem, because my poem on the day is going to be artists. I'm going to touch on that. And somebody was saying, okay, it must be yes, but maybe take 1 or 2 artists, start. Maybe give yourself 2 years with them. Say, born. Because one thing Untitled is, he's a full-time guitarist. Maybe he's not sharp, but he takes music like a 9 to 5. The hours that you put into it.
Yeah, it's work.
It's work.
It's work.
How much time do you put into your craft?
How much do you invest?
Do you rehearse? How do you rehearse? Who do you listen to? Are you working at being different? Because sometimes you want to sound like someone. Do you have people who are guiding you?
Yeah, so like over like an artist management agent, and I guess
under my company there will be that branch.
Because that's where I was heading with like this thing, the Western Cyphers in a way.
Okay.
But since you're doing it, I think
No, we can work on.
We'll just find a way of
work together. Because I believe in collaboration. That's what I was saying. If Gimu, the artist, sound engineer, I don't have to want to do everything by myself. When there's people who can actually make the workload lighter. So I don't have to do it. I can't because
but it's out of love.
But I'm willing to learn. I'll go to places like or Sambo, and ask them if they've got, they could send someone to teach about it, because who are the royalties and stuff like that?
Yeah, that can be arranged. It's simple to get them, It's just a matter of us arranging like a proper venue where we can host it. So I think, it's something which will actually maybe play, like proper. So I think we're good to go, come on. So, because not like I wanted to, because Mariketa wasn't after episode 12, because it's only on this side. And we are back again, guys, from our short break. That was a quick one, but we are still continuing with our conversation, and I'm still being joined by Miss Basetsana in studio, as we are still talking about the role of arts, into this society, from the influence it has, positive and negative, because at the end of the day, art is everywhere, like we said earlier on, So like right now we are about to get back to our conversation, but before we do that, just a reminder to go and check out our exclusive community of practical problem solvers there by Patreon /realtalkwithak.com. it's a community of like different people from different paths of life, you know, coming together to try and find like solutions for all the social challenges that members of society are facing on a daily basis, you know. So by joining that community, you are actually getting access to like merchandise, you know, discounts on like tickets for events, you know. There's a lot happening, so you can just go and visit it, you know. That's where you'll find everyone who has dedicated their time to finding solutions for practical societal issues without the political affiliation, you know, at the end of the day, because we do know that sometimes politics are a barrier, you know, to addressing some of these social challenges. But apart from that, let me get back to my guest here, and that's Miss Basetsana. So, Miss Basetsana, we are back from our break. So now I want us to talk about like the role of collaboration in the arts world, within the art space, for like what's the importance of collaboration in the spaces?
I always believe in delivering a product, a solid product, and I believe that in the art space we can never achieve that alone. I was just saying to AK off air for me, okay, maybe today I'm not like a successful artist, right? So I was able to do my own hair creatively, so because I like trying out new things. I've got white nail polish, I've got jingles, I'm wearing sandals. But if I was a well-achieved artist, man, give maybe a brand, right? Clothing brand, which you're going to appear for AK, you know, here's a Louis Vuitton t-shirt. No, but I'm just saying that's what collaboration is all about, right? But it's just that maybe our circle also has not grown, but we've got clothing brands with us, you know. Once we get the things rolling, you know, there's clothing brands, you probably know them more, you know, Goaya, you know, and another one would have said, Ish, Basi, can I do your hair? You know, because somebody's looking at me and said, who did your hair? I was on another YouTube thing, and then a lady said, what lip gloss do you use? I like it. And I said, that's collaboration. And somebody will ask me, what's the name of your hairpiece? So to present a solid product that is destined for the world, internationally so, and to have the impact, we're going to need to come together. We're going to have to say, dude, I know that I am AKWA, you know, the real, you know, real talk, you know, the people's podcast. You know, I can do it, you know, but I believe if we can partner, you know, with you, this can go far than where we actually want it to go.
That's true.
You know, big brands like the Nike, dude, they go for those higher names to push their thing. So they, you know, when I look at I don't know what I was reading a while ago, and they were reading about how they influence, I think mainly it was about marketing. And they said, okay, how do we introduce smoking? So what we're going to do, we're going to take famous people, right? How we would like women and children to also get into smoking. How are we going to do it? We're going to get a famous woman. So in an advert, right? They bring a famous lady, even if she's not a smoker, to grab a smoke, because what attracts us is what we see, right? So once I see Mangma, you know, there's people who can start smoking if I start smoking.
Yeah, that's true.
So we like her, we like the way she is, you know. You know, it means smoking is cool.
I think like
so that's what collaboration
of
is all
us
about.
in society, you know, actually started smoking, you know, doing all these things, drinking alcohol. It's things that we saw in movies. being done by our favorite actors, and automatically it creates curiosity.
It creates a culture.
Yeah.
And the culture becomes a heritage. You know, like that runs from you to your children to your children's children.
Yeah.
Right? And then to break the cycle, it takes forever. You know? So we cannot live outside collaboration. We can, to create a solid product, we're going to need to come together.
So like, how can we do that in an industry? Because at the moment, like, since like I've entered like the media and entertainment space, I was I'll talk about Western because that's where I'm at the moment. There's this trend that I've witnessed, like, you know, everyone thinking that they are big, you know, and egos playing a role in like preventing artists, you know, from growing. So like, how do we go about like breaking away from that norm? Because, you know, just as much as like we are busy asking for like the collaboration from some of these people, you know, they think like they are big or something, you know, they are untouchable, we are not on the same level. Where else, like, we are still looking for the same thing, we are pursuing the same thing, you know. So like, how do we break away from that culture? Because like, it's a negative culture for me, like, that's something that's negative. Because at the end of the day, we need to be working together, you know. You know, actually building something, you know, for the whole united, you know.
Truth is, it's going to take us a long time to find the people who feel your pulse, you know. You might go from this door, then you don't find before, you go to that door, you don't find, but we cannot, somebody said we cannot influence the whole world, but we can, however, make an impact, you know. And then, AK, you could be assigned only 100 people. Another person could be assigned 1 million. You know, another could be assigned just 100. But once you get them, take care of them. By one. Whether it's 10, whether it's 100, you know. So what's going to be important is getting the numbers. The numbers is what will drive us. Because in silo, dude, you can only get to 1 million alone. Even Bible hearing, one can defeat 1,000, but 2 can defeat 100,000. So you will get persistent. You know when I'm about to say no, they just go to your podcast, check it out. Even if they follow you. But once you get to a certain place, they say to you, we've been watching you. We believe in your values and we want to come on board. But you must stay the course, because what's happening is, what I'm finding is that I felt like during the journey.
Yeah, like I've also heard those moments, especially they say, you know, well, like, I felt like, okay, should I give this thing up because it's not bringing me money?
Yeah.
And like you said, you know, that thing of not having, like, maybe people believing, you know, it does play a role, you know, too. So like, you definitely right on that one.
So I talk maybe the first 6 months will be the hardest, or the first year could be the hardest. But they just want to see your consistency. Do you really believe in the product that you deliver, you know? And then at some point, Baba identifying you know? It's going to be difficult to break the culture, but the numbers are going to be brought by how consistent are you to what is in you, you know? Because passion, sometimes passion is not enough.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, passion can only drive you maybe for 5 years.
From 1 to 5.
Then after
But purpose. Are you doing this because of purpose? Because purpose will keep you during the hardest times. Purpose says, I'm in it.
Yeah, when
I'm in this thing.
What? You are swimming.
You
like
know?
that, you know.
I'm in this thing. And then then, you know, I believe in the faithfulness of God to bring the right people.
that's true.
That's what I'm saying. The reason why I say I'm Christian is because in my journey I've seen God bringing the right people, and sometimes at that time does not look like the right time,
But it's it.
but it works for the greater good.
Yeah.
Right? So to break the cycle, ole, let's consistently go. Let's consistently keep to it. And then the right people will come on board. You know, I was actually thinking about Hussein, Thomas, the guy who created the light bulb. The other people clearly said it was not his original idea. So he tried 99 times, you know, to get it right on the 100th time. You know, Thomas Edison. He had to believe in that thing.
Yeah, even when people thought he was crazy.
He had to believe in that thing. For you to be trying things for 99 times, it takes that inner strength.
Yeah.
To say, Bona, yes, I've tried 7 times, I'm going to try for the 7th
But I'm still gonna do
I'm
this.
still going to do this.
And most likely, by the time, like the 100th time when he did it and he was successful, that was when he was thinking of giving up. Because that's usually the case. Like when you almost there,
Yes.
you know, that feeling of giving up usually creeps in. You know, like.
But that's what I'm saying, but the drive. You know, there's a man in the Bible on my Facebook page, the Untitled Project on Facebook. I was asking, and I wrote like a small blog in general. As artists, how do you encourage yourself? Because a lot of artists are going through a lot. You know, I've had conversations. One would be crying like, nobody supports me, nobody believes in me. You know, and during that space, how do you encourage yourself?
Yeah. How do you support yourself? How do you get yourself through that?
Because you don't have cheerleaders, and sometimes maybe on social media you've got like 1,000 subscribers or 1 million, and they're happy when they see you on stage, you know. And then after the show they're like, oh, great show, but they're not there, you know, when you're in your corner at night when you sleep. That's why I was saying during the week, it's something that came to my heart, and I said, it does not matter what happens during the day, but where your day ends is important. Where you going to spend the night is important. Do you get home to somebody say, how was your day? And you say, yo, and they say, okay, let's try again tomorrow. You know, you get home to somebody who's saying, already how fit are you know, and then everybody answer, yo, but you're good for nothing. It doesn't matter how your day goes, but how it ends and where it ends, you know. So when you do not find the crowd or the cheerleaders, the support structure as an artist, how do you strengthen yourself to wake up another day instead of thinking of a rope or of pills taking your life? How? You need to have a thing. I don't know what your mom was. Man, higher power, maybe time, you know. But
the universe,
you know,
it's God, you know this thing.
I believe in morning routine is like wake up, take time to myself, pray for the day. I'm like, God, I need, you know, a lot of times I do the Lord's Prayer, you know. But He says, give us today our daily bread. So it's actually saying, give me today what I need today, not tomorrow. For today.
Just get me through
So
today.
is it grace to understand that word? Is it grace to get up from bed? Is it grace to face that test today? But you need to find a place of strength that will always, when you have no one,
Always go there.
where do you go?
That's a question. The question has been raised. Where do you go So if you do have the answer to it,
Or share with us. Please let us know. We want
just
to
let
know.
us know under the comment section.
We want to know how are you coping?
Because like for me, like as a creative, there are days where you're feeling down, or when you look at your work, you're not inspired. For me, like I take walks. Maybe I'll just take a walk around the road, connect with people. That way I know, okay, inspiration will start. Or maybe I'll go attend maybe a session, a space where like they are creative. Such spaces will always come out feeling inspired. For instance, for once there's the unspoken words to exist, it's because of like I attended like a poetry session earlier on this year, and when I was there, as I was watching, like I had this idea of saying like, we need more of these things, we need more of these things, because wow, this is beautiful, but these platforms are not there. And then boom, came back, started planning, because I saw, okay, talent is there, but platforms are not there. So like, I think we're about to hit like the conclusion of our episode, So, but before we actually conclude, this is the time where we actually give you like the platform. I'm no longer asking you questions, but you just share anything that you feel like we might have left out during our conversation. Like it's more of like a summary or a wrap-up statement, and then from there, like we'll conclude the episode. But it's been great getting to learn more about like the arts and entertainment space, how it works and how we can actually grow it. And I'm definitely looking forward to us collaborating on like future projects, because there's a lot to do. So let me not waste any further time. Let me just give you the platform to do your thing.
It's been such an honor, and I was just saying to AK off air, I'm like, I think I'm touching everything, because it's something that I'm really passionate about, because maybe I'm speaking from everything that I've done, and I've seen the results, of those things. I've seen the results of dancing, I've seen the results of poetry, I've seen the results of fashion. I'm not a fashionista, I'm not a designer, but the way I put my stuff together when I'm dressed, when I go out to people were like, oh wow, we didn't think those things can go together, and you look beautiful. I always get comments. I always get comments on how I speak. So I just know that it's important to invest in our gifts, in the things that the Lord, the Bible says He gives talents. To one He gives one, to one He gives 5, to one He gives 10, And to whatever it is that you are given, take care of it, believe in it, invest in it, and always seek the wisdom of the elders, those who have walked before you, because I believe they possess greater wealth of knowledge, and they'd be able to guide you. And I know as young people, we are full of zeal. Zeal, and the influence that we have as young people, but it also needs guidance. So we can never walk alone, without the guidance of those who have walked before us. So I aim in the future to have artists together. Let's talk, let's have real talk. Let's have real talk. Let's have real talk about the challenges that we are facing. Why are artists dying poor? Why are artists dying from depression? Let's talk about.
That's an episode on its own, like.
Let's talk about our lifestyle choices. Let's engage. Let's bring, if we can, write to these organizations that speaks about royalties. Let's get them on board. Let's get these musicians who have made it, artists, they've made it, and who are actually doing well. We've got jazz artists, we've got Buma Figures, let's get these people in to let's sit down and talk. Let's address, because what I've learned when I take in one of the talks with my mentor, no, his younger brother.
Yeah.
He's a guitarist. He was also a soccer player, right?
I get it.
So when in our talks, what came, and I think also when doing the applications to the Heritage Family, National Arts Council, these things come through a lot.
I've been trying to get those things.
I think I'm ready next year. I think I've tried 2 this year, and I've seen my faults, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna rectify. Somebody actually said the funding opportunities. He said these when they come up, take them as opportunities. Don't take them as challenges, because once you hear there's a funding application, you like, where do I start? They need this. But take it as an opportunity. That's what that guy said, to learn. And I'm like, okay, I've tried 2 this year, but research on the space of arts, sports, arts and culture, is that it's going to be political terms, and for lack of those now, economic change, economic drive into the country or the community. I mean, I don't work out, for instance, Village Road. That brings social changes, economic changes, tourist attraction, economic improvement. If Shabella overseas, what drives the economy is entertainment.
Music and movies.
Music, movies. That's what drives the economy. Social media, where are these people coming from? Where are they coming from? And these people are in the art space, in the creative space. So once we start embracing that culture in our community, I was saying to my boys who in my hood, I said to them guys, let's think about having a East Park market.
East Park social market.
Why not?
Something I've been trying to get from this park, but politics. Problem in politics.
Let's go step by step. There's any bylaws. We need to understand how to sometimes getting the right people on our side, without the politics, affiliations into it. But I tell you, if we keep at it from, it's gonna be where we want. We must not give up. Even if we fight, and our children will inherit, or will get to taste the fruits of our hard work, Because I wanted to do a reading campaign that involves artists, because they're singing. Our children are looking up to artists, Babamina, musicians, but they don't know. They can't need contracts, so you can't say you don't want to go to school.
And some of them, they are clueless because of they dropped out of school, So when it comes to the contract, they are being exploited, because they don't understand all these terms, and sometimes lady pride of asking for help is a problem.
We've got a long way to go, but I believe that with the likes of you, and then the circle is growing bigger, the influence that I see that we can have, the inspiration that we can give to people, I believe in that. I believe that we are going to be influential, and we are going to inspire through the arts.
Amen to that.
I can speak until sunset about arts. I just believe in it, and I believe that if we can just come together, I'm not sure how, but you will always find your tribe.
Yeah.
You will always find your tribe, and look for it. Be consistent. Self-development, grow yourself, invest in the gift, art is like a 9 to 5, it's not something that you visit,
We don't sleep, we create even when you're asleep.
Yes.
there are times where you just wake up like, this is the topic for like an episode. You have to note it down sometimes, you know.
Yeah, and I want to say all the best to you, you know, and what you're doing is great. I say, if we had not started it, I was going to start it.
It's never too late, you know. And then this is a network, you know. So like, we're still gonna be adding more shows, you know, to add because like, at the end of the day, podcasting is still new in the world. So that's also something that we're trying to make trend, you know, like podcasting because it's only like, you know, babes who are into podcasts. In the world, you know, you still have to explain what's a podcast.
Yeah, bring that awareness. Sometimes let's start there. You know, let's put it up in the open space. You know, let's talk to people who are passing on the streets. Like, what do you see? What do you understand? You know, is it something you'd be interested in doing? You know, put it out there.
I was actually inviting like a couple of people to be like part of our audience. I was like, nah, I'm doing an episode because they saw me setting up. So I was like, nah, I'm doing an episode.
Yeah.
But you can come and join behind the scenes maybe. Then just try to see what's happening. But you know how they are with camps. I am a camp. Plus it's Saturday, so you know like what's up, Kadi Saturday in the world. But it's been dope, you know, having you like on the show, you know, like getting to know more about you and to like our new viewers out there who are actually here because of you. You know, I hope that they do stick around, you know, for more future episodes because I know for a fact that you are still gonna come back for another episode.
Definitely,
you know,
most def.
But it's been dope, you know, having you on the show. I'm actually honored for the conversation, you know. Actually learned something new, you know, today. Because I've been craving, you know, to learn something because I've been recording for a while. So like it was one of those, you know. But apart from that, it's been an honor having you all on the show watching. Don't forget to click that subscribe button and follow button on Spotify, and don't forget that we actually have an awards initiative currently active called the Game Changers and Dreamers Awards. You know, it's all about giving recognition to local content creators, you know, NPOs, businesses that are actually contributing to like the social development in our communities. So you can just visit my Facebook page, my Twitter page, you know, for the links. They are available on my bio. The nomination forms are still there, and the nominations are actually closing on the 30th of November. So you can still go and nominate your game changers, you know, or dreamers, you know, someone who's actually like bringing change in our community. You know, we're talking about Abu Babu Fundis, Imanji, that this babe or the one who's broad, like because at the end of the day we do know that majority of these awards initiatives that are out there, you know, they how can I put it, they show favoritism to their own preferred specific businesses, artists and so forth. So like the game changers are there to actually break that barrier, you know, because
to acknowledge everyone.
Yeah, like give everyone a fair chance of being acknowledged, you know. But apart from that, you can just visit linktree/Real Talk with AK to access the nomination form. The nomination form is also available on our blog page. It's at realtalkwithak.wordpress.com. But apart from that, it's a wrap from us. It's been an honor having you on the show. Peace. Thank you. And that's just about it.
That's it. That was refreshing, yo.
Thanks again.
That's refreshing.
Thanks again.
Pleasure, bro. Pleasure. Absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure. Hope I didn't disappoint. Look at the comments about it. What was she saying? What did she mean?
We're still growing, you know. So like, in most cases, when it comes to comments, I'm not slow about like because I'm still trying to find the strategy of how I can get like my audience to actually start engaging, you know, even like talking about the podcast on social media. Especially my South Africans. South Africans are a problem, like legit.
You mean in general, or you mean Mokale City people?
Nah, I'm just saying South Africa in general, you know, like, because like, let me just say 60% of my audience is from abroad.
Really?
Yeah. Like I'm talking about US, India, Russia, what else? Philippines, you know, Canada.
And there's black people there.
I'm not sure, that's the thing. I'm also not sure whether it's black people or white people.
Do they comment or is it people who are watching?
No, like when I go to my podcast, like I can actually check like which countries are listening. So when I get there, those are the dominating countries, you know.
So in